Welcome, everybody, to this episode 19. I'm here with GI Judy, as I call her now, GIA Judy, and welcome to the 19th episode of the Global Diamond Broker, taking you backstage in the diamond industry and sharing things the industry really don't want you to know.
The industry doesn't want you to know.
Did I say that wrong?
Yeah.
Thank you for correcting me.
That's what I'm here for.
It's one of the things you're here for.
Yeah, it's all I do all day is correct.
The other thing is to kind of sit there quietly and look like that, okay? You know, why do we get more feedback on how beautiful you are than... And this is a nice segue, I think, to what we're going to talk about.
Beauty in diamonds.
We're going to talk about beauty in diamonds, because as I've gone out there and become...
TikTok famous.
And now I'm called the...
Global Diamond Broker? Oh, the Silver Fox?
The Silver Fox. I didn't know my hair was silver until they started calling me the Silver.
Oh, it's silver.
Is it silver?
I mean, the little hairs that you have.
Can you still pick up color there on top? Like, is that... Anyway, yeah, we're going to be talking about beauty, because as I've gone out there, and please understand, I guess we are kind of TikTok famous at this point. And
you're TikTok famous.
We get lots of questions and lots of inquiries, and not just from, Canada or even the United States, but we're scheduling a call right now with Sweden,
like
Australia, and tomorrow we're shipping an important diamond to the USA, and the thing that we're finding out is how little people understand about what the parameters are, I guess, to owning beauty. And
I would say more than anything, people are misinformed. Like,
and the other thing is the amount of jewelers who are, because if you're on TikTok and, we're on Instagram, and
you're going to get hate. You're going to get hate regardless of what you post.
Respectfully, the hate I've gotten has been misinformation, where even jewelers who practice for 40 years are making comments that the industry has taught them.
Right.
That they really don't know what the truth is.
So it's not out of malicious intent.
There's
it's
no
just
malicious. I mean,
them being misinformed.
Exactly. And but when we talk about beauty, the paradigm we talk about is, the one thing I get is you'll get a lot of these, the bitter guys who got dumped or she said no, right? Who are so bitter against the diamond industry, who go, they're worthless or that's or that. Well, I think that most diamonds are worthless. And the paradigm shift that grew the company Diamonds Direct of mine, and I'm going to tell this story really quickly, because when I started Diamonds Direct before the Global Diamond Broker, it was a company where I used to sit in my little Honda Civic, and I would go to the bank, and in those days there were no cell phones. There was only
what
texts.
A life. Oh my God.
Right? And not text.
Pagers.
Pagers. Okay. And my little pager on my belt that made me look really cool. Right? Like
you should pull that thing out now.
That was
see how many ladies you can pick up.
That was the epitome of technology. I would get texts from jewelers, and I would go to their stores, and I would sell them diamonds, and I'd go back to the bank at night and put the diamonds back in the vault. And what happened is in those days, I was on the Heavenly Bodies aerobics demo team. True story. And I know, right?
I'm just picturing a young Colin.
Spandex
and L.
Hey, long, blonde, thick hair. And I was on the Heavenly Bodies aerobics demo team, and a friend of mine was getting engaged. And I said to her, Cheryl, don't go pay retail. Come see me, and I'll get you either a better quality or bigger diamond at a better price. And what I helped Cheryl and her husband, her soon-to-be husband, pick was a diamond that was a switch of the paradigm. Diamonds are not about buying them.
They're about owning.
They're about owning forever. And
Right.
unlike anything else a couple ever buys, this is something that literally, globally, every country in the world trades in diamonds. And, wherever you go, you'll buy houses and you might have your house forever. Most people don't. They'll start smaller. But
Yeah.
the diamond engagement ring is really something you got to get right the first time. And what I said to Cheryl was, let's just get you beauty. When she got it on her finger and she would go out with her girlfriends and stick her pretty little finger out, and she always had the whitest, brightest diamond in the room. And, if I speak to women today, 40 years ago that was, still if I say, what's most important to you, the first thing that comes up 98% of the time is beauty. And it's a nebulous thing when we sit and talk about beauty, but here's what makes it interesting is everybody knows it when they see it. And so I want to talk about what makes a diamond beautiful. So,
Right.
After you get your engagement ring or for the guy at the table, when you're out at dinner with your friends after getting engaged and you stick your finger out against your girlfriend's ring and yours blows it away, here's two things that a result of that is. Number one, you never see your girlfriend's left hand around you again. They always, it can end relationships, okay? And number two, and this is for the guy, if she has the brightest, whitest, most beautiful diamond, then he's the big stud diamond buyer. And I talk about this a lot. And, invariably, and you know this, Judy, is what I get is a guy will get his ring. I just got a call from Victoria, British Columbia, where the guy had ordered, never met him, found us online. And he was saying to me, and his is a mined diamond, which we do both. We if you ask us to recommend, but he wanted mined, she wanted mined, and so they have
Some people
mined.
do, yeah.
Some people do, but whether mined or created in a laboratory, technologically mined, he said, everywhere she goes, all our friends, and he was quoting his friends and everything before they ever got, she has the prettiest diamond in the room.
That's awesome.
And I look like I'm smarter than I am.
100%.
Exactly.
He looks like he loves her more.
Exactly. I mean, it's kind of, and so that's really what you're buying. And so let's talk about this a little bit more so people understand why. And I guess the thing that you really want to understand and to keep it really simple is, and it is really simple, really, is diamonds are prisms. Diamonds, for me, my first experience, I talk about it a lot, was Mrs. Keith in grade 2. I was 7 years old. She was also my first crush. Okay, like if a 7-year-old can have a crush, she was my first crush. Love the woman, and it could have been this experience where she came in one day, and all of us had this experience in grade school, and she held a prism up to the light, and, the rainbow effect, the reds and the blues and the greens and the yellows and, that flash of brilliance off the top of the prism always stayed with me, and it stayed with me today. And so if you distill the essence of a diamond,
They're prisms, and so
That's
there's no
all they
color.
are.
There's no color.
there's no color. They're transparent, and that's number one. So when you're looking at owning a diamond, the 4 C's of diamonds developed in 1939. Do you think it's time for
Were
an
you
update?
alive?
Yeah, I was born in 40. Bitch. Sorry. Am I allowed to say that? We might have to bleep that one out, but bitch. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so no, I wasn't born then.
Oh.
It was much later, actually.
Oh, sorry.
Much later.
So
I
sorry.
can't tell by looking. But it's time for an update on the 4 C's, because the
I
4
agree.
C's itself of cut, color, clarity, and a carat. If you walk into Tiffany or anywhere else downtown Vancouver here today, any of the luxury or not so luxurious jewelers, the first thing they want to talk about. But the 4 C's weren't made for you.
They're made for the industry.
They were made for the industry to be able to flog diamonds and have some sort of way to explain them. And so So one of the TikTok things where I've gotten in arguments with jewelers, I win all my arguments. People say, "Oh, just ignore them." No, thank you. Usually it comes.
If you want an ugly diamond, sure. Listen to these jewelers.
With these guys, I have to explain the industry because they don't know. Right? I've traversed more aspects of the industry from the mine to the marketplace than probably anybody in the business today. Which is why we understand the value proposition so much. But literally,
a lot of them talk about G color being just fine, or it's
gross. Yeah. It's the number one. It's a grade for the jeweler. They make a lot of money selling G color.
So it's a very common color.
It's a very common choice by jewelers. The problem with it, the color scale goes from D to Z. And once you get out of F, you're into the near colorless range.
So it's no longer colorless. It picks up darkness.
And what it is it's the presence of nitrogen in the stone that causes them to, here's the GIA term, until they got so much pressure they changed it. The 4Cs has evolved over the years because of pressure on the GIA by companies like De Beers so they could sell more diamonds. Pure and simple. So until they changed it, they used to say as you get into the near colorless range, diamonds darken, and they do. So what you have is a D color, which is what we recommend. We don't even call them D colors because they're not colors. They're transparent. So transparency in a diamond is at the very top of the scale, which is really what you want. Nothing slows the light down. They don't darken. So as you go down, they pick up color. And so when you get into a G color, what's the term I use? They're
gross.
Gross, or
gee, why didn't I get a D?
Gee, why didn't I get a D? Because for the rest of your life, you'll never have the prettiest diamond in the room. Right? Like that's the problem. And it's a nebulous thing. But it's really what you're going out to own here. And there's trade-offs. And, so whenever we recommend, it's always number one is beauty. Number one is beauty. It's the only thing. The rest of them, in my opinion, and this is what we see on the internet, the bitterness comes from the fact that guys go out and spend their money and they don't have a beautiful stone. She doesn't love it. She knows after she gets it, it's not the prettiest diamond in the room.
Yeah.
It's a waste of money. So and being on TikTok and dealing with these, because people have said, oh, just ignore them. I don't. My role is to educate people.
Right. And you're obviously super passionate about your job.
I've heard this, what's the technical word? Bullshit for too long. Just for too long. I mean, technology today can do the grading. AI can do the cutting and the manufacturing. And so there's no reason. The costs are the lowest they've been for diamonds for a very long time. The trade's not going to tell you that either. But technology has solved the problem, right? I mean, pressure on the industry has solved the problem. So the paradigm is not about buying, it's about owning, and it's about owning beauty. And so now beauty can be measured.
Right.
So, and again, a guy spending his money, no wonder the guys have been bitter. I thought about this, because I can tell you, our clients who, the company Diamonds Direct, I grew, let me just come back to that for a second. When she got her ring on, she went out, and there used to be this commercial where they told two friends, and they told two friends, and it became the fastest growing diamond company in the country, from 0 to millions overnight, from people looking at it going, oh my God, that diamond's so beautiful. Where'd you get it? And it was funny because people didn't want to associate the term Diamonds Direct because it's not really ritzy. But I had very important, in those days, and we still have these clients today, the top athletes and top buyers with more money than they knew what to do with. I always think back to the captain of the Vancouver Canucks, Marcus Naslund, who had bought his from a jewelry store, and I made one piece for him afterwards on a referral, and he came back in and brought every piece of his wife's jewelry and said, I don't know why I bought these. The guy told me they were going to be the most beautiful. and they simply weren't. And he said, your prices notwithstanding, because our prices are always, I take great pride.
Right.
He said, yours is the most beautiful stuff in the market, and that's what we do. And whether you know it or not, that's what you're buying, because you may as well not waste your money otherwise.
Right, right.
Or you'll be bitter like the rest of those people. And so, G, why didn't I get a D? Easily measured. You have to turn the stone over, look through the bottom of the stone, not the top. Okay, but it's just a prism. That's all they are.
So those are the 2 points that you wanted to mention, is that beauty is important and value.
Yeah, it's the only things really. And value comes from beauty, not the other way. There's
There's
no
no financial return on a white diamond also.
My mentor in the business, Eddie Greisberg, was a former site dealer for De Beers. He says there's no deals in the diamond industry unless you have beauty. If you have the prettiest diamond in the room, for a guy, he looks like a smart guy. For a girl, her love's better than, because for them, it's crystallized love on their finger. So this is what we've been dealing with, and this is the paradigm. See her, look at me. I hit the table with my leg, so far this morning, she's melted this chair in front of the fireplace that I'm sitting on. She smashed the mirror we use to kind of watch each other when we're... And
you guys should see her setup. It's so funny.
My knee touches the table, and it's like a travesty.
It's the end of the world.
Okay. Right? Like, what are you doing? Anyway, so.
Oh my gosh! I wish you guys could see the setup right now.
Because we don't. We're true, and this is something. We're true diamond brokers. We do this ourselves. Judy edits everything. She's amazing.
Yeah.
All our TikToks, we don't advertise. We don't have a budget for it. Right?
We don't
That's
need to.
not our niche in the marketplace. What we do is we supply diamonds globally, and trust me, it's globally. We just shipped to China. We've shipped all over the world at prices that nobody else can do. That's our niche in the market. So our overheads aren't like... GIA Judy. This is my next thing. I want to get Judy doing the... because Judy's GIA trained, Gemological Institute of America, the leading educational facility in the world for diamonds. It started off as GIA Judy, but now I just call her GI Judy.
GI Judy, like GI Joe.
Like GI Joe.
Oh my
like
God.
all the GIs
I
in
love
the
that.
United States, which, by the way, has very quickly become our biggest market.
100%.
Right? Like people who see us on TikTok or Instagram in the States are...
We love our American friends.
And they're all looking for the same thing. They're looking for transparency, whether they know it or not in their diamond, but they're also looking for transparency in the communication from someone helping them get their diamond. And that's us. Like, it's easy for me to talk about this. I did a TikTok yesterday, who I thought was one of our best ones. We never know what's going to happen with TikTok.
The algorithm
how many
is
views
just
we're going to
so
get,
weird.
whether it's 500,000 views or 2,000 views. And, I thought yesterday's on our pricing was one of our best TikToks. And
That's okay.
I think we're at 3,000 views. They grow every day, though. So this is what happens when you go from 0 followers to 12,000 in 8 weeks. It's
pretty, and these are natural followers, organic followers.
yeah.
We don't pay for any
Yeah, we don't pay for
advertising. So,
anything.
I think we're doing pretty good, Colin.
But I'm kind of hot, I think, is what really gets a lot of...
Like temperature-wise?
No, right now I am.
I know, the fireplace is so nice.
For ruining my mirror and my chair.
All right. Well, I think that leaves us for today.
Oh, is it? Are we done? Have you decided?
We're done
now?
when I say we're done.
Okay, so... But yes, the return you're looking for, the only thing you're looking for is beauty in a diamond. And the bitterness towards the industry of people who've gone out and gotten diamonds that are, H&I color. And I hate to say it, what you pay for, just in closing, is the diamond. It's important you get a design that you love and that you're proud of, but what you pay for is the diamond. And so
Yeah.
here's a hint. If you want to buy a brand, and we're launching our own brand in the spring here, but if you want to buy a brand, Tiffany mostly sells GHI diamonds. And people get caught up in the brand, the $200 worth of gold in the
know.
ring, and buy these super expensive diamonds.
Just
only
to
to
say, just to say they have a Tiffany ring.
You're interrupting me a lot.
I'm so
Wait,
sorry.
You think you're getting a voice here? Huh? Is that what you think? I think you are the voice. Look at how humble you are. That's so cute. Oh, am I in trouble?
There's days where I talk too little. There's days where I talk too much.
I think most days too much.
Yeah.
Like in all fairness.
Likewise.
Okay.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you.
No, you can always interrupt me. You know, I'm just kidding. Can't take a joke. today.
Anyways,
Very funny. But what I was going to say before I was so rudely interrupted was that the promise made is not the promise kept, because people think if I buy Tiffany, listen, if you buy Tiffany, by the way, D dazzling, E
kind of exceptional.
kind of exceptional, F fairly fantastic, G. The champions of G don't like my emoji for this because it's the throwing up
gross,
emoji.
yeah.
Right? Like H, horrible. And these are it's horrible. They're dark. They start to look like the color of
P.
urine, right? I is indecent. So, and then if they're graded accurately, because remember, and I don't mean to pick on Tiffany, but this is the whole industry praise the 4 C's. The industry is predatory. And they prey on the ignorance of the consumer. They get this diamond, they're proud of it. It's a Tiffany. Who cares if it doesn't sparkle and you never see her left hand? And this is what happens. Anyway, so there we are. I think I've offended you. I've offended pretty well every jeweler in the world.
Perfect.
Okay, but these are the
Agenda's
facts, and
completed.
it's time someone speaks them. And why not the Global Diamond Broker? Because we have a global voice.
Yeah, absolutely. Nicely done.
Thank you very much. We're getting better at this.
We are.
Anyway, that's episode 19, as they say in the movie industry, in the can.
In the can.
And when she was breaking things this morning, we were talking about the show must go on.
Yeah, the show always goes
The
on.
show always goes on.
So much shit happens. Oops, sorry. I wasn't supposed to swear.
We'll see you next week.
Okay,
You're not
bye.
allowed to swear.
I'm not allowed to swear.
You're not allowed to swear.
Okay, what about you?
Okay.
Bye.
See you next week.